That should read episode 244, actually. Forgot to change the episode number. Welcome once again to Legion of Reason for November 11th, 2018. This is episode 2014, and I just disappeared for some reason. Let's go over to, okay, there we go. I got, we have an upside down, Christine. No, it's not you, it's me this time, because I had it set for, I had you flipped for when you were using FaceRig. Right? Yeah, not on my end. Yeah, not on my end. Put your headphones on, or getting some feedback. Oh, thank you. Okay, what do we got today? I guess we have some more Catholic watch. I mean, this is the religion that just keeps on giving. Right now, it really is the reason why this podcast exists. I mean, it's just, they're the worst. It's just the worst set of beliefs in the country. And because it affects public policy so much. Anyway, in the last episode, we told you about how Catholic-run Covenant Health treated Doreen Nowicki so shabbily by forcing her to be assessed for medical assistance in dying eligibility out on the street. Well, it happened again. So to an ALS sufferer, Bob Hergott was forced to take a cab. He's paralyzed and in a fair bit of distress all the time. So he had to take a cab from Covenant Health facility where he was staying to a hospital where he could receive medical assistance in dying. Meanwhile, Alberta Health Minister Hoffman is just dodging any questions related to these infringements on the rights of patients. And it's the kind of thing that makes me rant on a major scale. Eye on Islam. Asia Bibi has been the subject of violent protests by moderate Muslims in Pakistan following the overturning of her conviction for blasphemy. She's trying to get out of the country. The UK has reportedly turned down an asylum request citing security concerns, which you got me. I don't know. I mean, whose security are we talking about here? Certainly not hers, because the longer she stays in Pakistan, the more danger she is in. And members of the Religion of Peace have strongly suggested to her lawyer that he exit the country for an extended vacation for health reasons, i.e., they're going to kill him. What other stories we got? We got Netflix is being sued by the Satanic Church for $50 million because they used the statue of Baphomet in their TV series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Atheist Prime Minister of cash-strapped Greece, Alexis Tsipras, is laying off 10,000 public employees. Now, normally, I'd be not really caring about this too much until you realize that the 10,000 employees are priests in the Greek Orthodox Church. And I'm like, yay! Good. You want to trim the fat? Boy, that's high cholesterol fat. Let's get rid of them. And there was much rejoicing. Man, it sucks to be a priest. What are their skill set? I mean, it's bullshit. I don't know. I just feel so sorry for them. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sure, but basically living off of the public dime and doing what exactly? Dipping babies in water. What else really? Spreading nonsense, their own brand of nonsense, which is weird enough as it is. Anyway, back to last time, I had the problem with my microphone. Turned out it wasn't a problem with the microphone. It was having too many USB devices plugged into my system, and my motherboard couldn't handle it. So I've got two. So I ordered another mic in the meantime, and it's better actually. This is actually a step up from the Blue Yeti, so I'm keeping it. So I've got a spare mic, which is nice, and lots of changes coming. I'm switching web hosting services, because for about the same amount as I was paying at PowWeb, I got, for 1 year, I got 3 years at Bluehost. Yeah, a huge cost saving there. It's not up yet. The new site is not up yet, but it will be soon. Hopefully it'll be done midweek, and I'll migrate everything over. All the files are migrated over, just having to build the theme under WordPress, and I'm getting that done for me. So, yeah, so exciting times, and I'm working on a bunch of projects off and on. Going to be all new stingers for the segments, and just, yeah, and I'm still working on the microaggressions animation, which I'm thoroughly going to enjoy once it's finished. And it's a total macroaggression, so I don't. You're the one that got me onto this. It's your fault. Well, this is just poking fun at something that is incredibly stupid. It's in 99%. I think 99%, and the story that the Godfather of, I don't want to give too much away, but the story that the Godfather of microaggressions told is funny because he gets everything wrong. The whole story is his interpretation of events is factually wrong, and it goes to my point that microaggressions tell me more about the person who's claiming to have been aggressed than it does about the person who is claimed to be the aggressor. It kind of tells me that they're shit human beings. I think they're shit. I think the founder is. This isn't just a misinterpretation. He got the whole incident wrong, and factually so. No, he's factually wrong. It could not have been a microaggression against him. It could not have been, and I tell why in this story. It comes from a lack of understanding of how decisions are made on aircraft seating arrangements. So that's enough said. I'm not going to say any more because it gives things away, and he just embarrasses himself. Anyway, I hope he's got video, but yeah. So I'd like to do that. Okay, what do we got here? We got. I could start with. Well, if you bring him in, I'm going to start with Catholic Watch here. So.
It's now time for the Legion of Reason's Catholic Watch.
All right, so we're here at Catholic Watch, and of course, I just mentioned the health minister and her avoiding problems. There's a couple of incidents that have happened. Doreen Nowicki, who was forced, is a very frail woman in her 90s, forced to have the assessment for her eligibility requirements for accessing assisted dying services out on the street in I believe it was in a bus shelter. And it happened again. Let's go to the Here we go. This is from CBC. Paralyzed, terminally ill man had to sign assisted dying paper. Oh, this is the one in the bus shelter. Doreen Nowicki was on a street corner. This man who he had the worst day of his life, but the last day of his life was the worst day. You know, it was, and it's all on Covenant Health, 100%. And it absolutely sick. Oh, got you upside down again in this one. No, never mind. I'm just fixing your defying gravity there. Yeah, I had to fix all the upside down things because of the way I had it set when you were using facial rig. So, yeah. So Bob Hergott is a 72-year-old paralyzed ALS patient, and he was forced to leave his Covenant Health hospital to access assisted dying services, even just for the assessment for requesting the procedure. And you know, I'm sure these are not the two only stories. Now, one could say that, well, they're in a Catholic institution, they should have known that before going in. The problem is, Covenant Health operates almost all of end-of-life care. So, yeah, he can't even talk. So, and his friend said that if he could, he would have screamed. This, and don't forget, Covenant Health is publicly funded, and yeah, but then they'd have, yeah. People keep saying that there's a competition of rights here, and I don't understand that, because the rights that we should only be concerned about, solely, wholly, and singly, are those of the person who's being cared for. That's it. Covenant Health does not have rights. It's an institution. Just because it's Catholic run, if you're going to impose your belief system on somebody else, you don't get to do this on the public dime. This has to end. This has got to end. And that's bad enough. Yeah, absolutely, no question. Well, and here's the thing, this paragraph here. In response to all this, Health Minister Sarah Hoffman released a statement saying Covenant had assured her that Nowicki's ordeal was an isolated incident. No, it was not. Clearly it was not. And she's, repeatedly dodged questions. Okay, I'm going to go to this page. Health Minister Sarah Hoffman dodges questions about inhumane Covenant Health policy. This is the one party I would have thought would have changed things. I mean, the changes that they made to the sex ed curriculum here, including education on transgender people, LGBT, great, fine. And this, I mean, is so, it's incongruent. It doesn't make sense to me that on the one hand they would be, so progressive in educating people on LGBT people, and then when real suffering, real indignities we're paying for them. True, but But there's no question here that these people are. Yeah, I know. It just, this is. I don't like the term social justice. I hate it. It's a wastebasket term. It doesn't mean anything, and that's another reason I don't use it. But I don't like to use the term. I like to use individual issues, because I don't agree with everything that's under the social justice umbrella. Not by any stretch. Yeah. Well, I don't like it. It's like I say, it's a wastebasket term. It's not a consistent. Yeah. All right. But I'm an advocate for medical assistance in dying, and I make no. Yeah, it is human right. It's the ultimate human right, because it's the right to self-determination and autonomy, and how you exit this life. And sometimes, as tragic as it is, any death is tragic. Sometimes life becomes not worth living. It is just not. It's not worth living anymore. I mean, I've seen it firsthand, and my stepfather. I keep bringing that up. Unfortunately, at the time, they didn't have the medical assistance in dying services, but he was in a Catholic hospital anyway, so he was screwed. As guess what? All the palliative care beds in Saskatoon are at St. Paul's Hospital. All the hospital ones, anyway. They're in a Catholic hospital. So, how long do we pussyfoot around this issue? I don't get it. It's been done. Yeah, it's been done. In Humboldt, Saskatchewan. And yeah. So there is precedent for it. It was about 10 years ago, I guess, maybe not even 10 years ago, when the Humboldt, Saskatchewan incident, where the public hospital was also the Catholic hospital, and they refused to perform a tubal ligation. So this one woman had to go to another health region, took it to the Human Rights Commission, won that, and Saskatchewan government just said, okay, you're no longer a Catholic hospital. You're done. That was it. The province owns the hospitals. It's not owned by the Catholic Church. We own it. It's not theirs. They just run it. And the doctors threatened to quit. I think they might have quit. And I'm about yeah, bye. Adios. See you. Don't let the door hit you on the ass when you leave, Yeah, you don't have a choice to what hospital you go to. Yeah. What's his name? Starts with an L. I can't think of it at the moment. Maybe somebody in the chat room can get that to me. And let's go to the chat. Oh, somebody. Beej is on here. Yeah, I can't remember his name off. Latimer, yeah, Robert Latimer. Yeah, that one is different. I don't know if she would have qualified for that. Well, actually, she wouldn't because she was a minor. She's a minor. Yes. Muscular dystrophy. Yeah. Cannot hear him. I hear a lot of noise. Oh yeah, I'm going to continue. Getting a lot of background noise there. You might want to mute. Yeah, so Doreen Nowicki's family met with Sarah Hoffman, who the health minister for the province of Alberta, and it did not go well. They want this kind of thing to end. Of course they do. I mean, they had to watch as their frail elderly relative was treated so shabbily. And I do not want to hear another promise from Covenant Health. I want them to be ended. Well, that too, but I don't want them anywhere near healthcare. I don't want them anywhere near healthcare. They're yeah. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Yeah. Mm. In the Sunday mornings. There's an interesting article on CBC News. Alberta legislation needed to address Covenant Health assisted dying policy, says advocacy group. And it's Friends of Medicare. They have to have a clear policy on this. Either publicly funded institutions follow the law or they get defunded. The publicly funded Catholic health provider refuses to facilitate assisted death, saying doing so would violate their faith, not the patient. They have no concern for the patient, none. That the faith that underpins its medical care. Faith underpins medical care. I don't fucking think so. It's medical care that is the underpinning for medical care, right? Yeah, I called this train wreck. I called this train wreck a couple of years ago, and we're seeing it in slow motion right now. And I'm just so disappointed with the Notley government exempting the biggest provider of palliative care beds in the province, and they get an exemption. I'm like, on why? What? And Sarah Hoffman is avoiding questions. The courts eventually are going to say, yeah, you're finished. You either abide by the law or that's it. There's no exemption for anybody on the public dime. I just don't understand why. You're not supposed to agree. You're supposed to disagree so we can have an argument. God damn it. God damn, we're going to start backslapping each other, yeah. Yeah, bias confirmation. Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is just kind of the kind of thing that makes me so angry. You know, it's the suffering and indignity is real and measurable and observable, and it's a sick doctrine, that redemptive suffering. It's one of the sickest doctrines ever devised by human beings. Yeah. Mm. Mm. And here's the piece on health ministers. Sorry. No, doesn't. Sarah Hoffman dodges questions about inhumane covenant health policy. And she, this is such a sorry answer. She said, I've shared the frustration that I think all Albertans felt when they heard about somebody receiving a health assessment on the street. That's what Hoffman said. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to do about it? But for religious reasons, Covenant Health, a Catholic healthcare provider, refuses. Yes, of course. So that doesn't make them right. I think, I don't see any other recourse for the government other than to just end their association with Covenant Health. I just can't see. This is how religion dug its, like mushrooms, dug its roots into. Yeah, it is a fungus. It spreads and it's just disgusting. I can't say anything that would convey the depths of my disgust with Catholicism. And I know Catholic people, they're very good people, but they believe stupid things and harmful things. Yeah. Well, the good news is I'm hoping that this pressure on the health minister will continue from journalists such as the one that wrote this piece. Jenny Russell's, I should have her actually see if I can get her on, because this is obviously a point of, is something that's very important to her as well. And the whole thing of they promised never to do it again, well, I don't believe that, first of all, because they still don't allow the assessment to take place on their premises, let alone the actual service of assistance in committing suicide. But I'm just repeating myself. There's only so many times I can say this is bullshit and this has to end. And we've got to just take the bull by the horns, and it has to happen at some point. I don't see any other way around it. We have to end public funding of Covenant Health. That's it. And all Catholic hospitals or any other religious hospital. And schools. I mean, while we're at it, yes, schools, absolutely. All right, what are we on here? Oh yeah, there was another piece on new federal rules on assisted dying harmful to patients, says the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Quebec doctors are warning that new federal regulations on reporting medical assistance in dying can hurt patients. They say that this is the Quebec College of Physicians said that the new requirements add needless bureaucracy that could make doctors less likely to get involved in end-of-life procedures. For the past 3 years, doctors in Quebec have been filling... Is it filling or filing? I can't read that. Filing, I think. One provincial form, but as of Thursday, they'll also be required to fill out a federal form, which includes sensitive patient information, including social security numbers and postal codes. So they're gathering this information, and those who don't fill out the forms face 2 years in prison. Like, what? That's ridiculous. And there's a conflict between the Quebec law. Quebec has its own law; they passed that first, and the federal law. Different criteria. Oh yeah. It's yeah. Just this. I don't know. Did we talk about this last time? The woman that prematurely made use of maid services because by the time she was hoping to get to past the next Christmas, she has. Can't remember. Yeah, she died on Thursday or Wednesday, and because there's no living will, and you can't make a declaration like a DNS or a DNR, sorry, do not resuscitate. But in this case, for assisted suicide, you can't do it in advance. She felt she was forced to do it now, and yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm hoping that the Julie Lamb case, which is still going through the legal system, will end this crap. Because the way the law is, there's nothing in the Carter v. Canada decision, which abolished the prohibition on assisted suicide. There's nothing in there on death being needing to be foreseeable. Because what does that even mean? It's like, well, everybody's going to die, right? Someday. So, in that sense, all deaths are foreseeable. But you can't. Nobody has a crystal ball to say that within you've got 3 weeks, 2 hours, and 30 seconds to live. I mean, there's no foreseeable. Okay, it's all statistical when we talk about how long people live with a potentially or a condition which is going to kill you. You can't predict exactly when people die because it's of the statistical, the rather chaotic nature of things like brain tumors or whatever else, or ALS, for instance, and you cannot predict with any accuracy how long a person's going to live. Just Say something again. I'm wondering if you.
Testing.
That's better. I think that's better.
I'm upside down on it. I see what you mean.
Oh, yeah, I'll fix that.
Kevin's going to join us, but he's having some technical difficulties too.
All right. Okay, so we've got that. You want to talk about this? I guess here. I think we're just going to go straight to the regressive left files here, because
the regressive left files.
In the regressive left files, I didn't mention this before. You heard about the Tucker Carlson thing?
I did. Isn't that shocking?
Wow. Yeah, unbelievable what they did. Antifa, members of Antifa, or some other underneath that umbrella organization. Antifa protesters chant outside Fox Tucker Carlson's home, and they break his door while his family was inside.
Yeah, that's...
Tell me these are not terrorists. Tell me that.
Well, that's exactly the definition, basically, isn't it? Right?
It is exactly the definition of terrorism. It doesn't have to be a bomb. It doesn't even have to involve having a gun or whatever. It is trying to change people's views through the use of violence. That is the definition of terrorism. It's a political agenda it's advancing a political agenda with the use of violence. It has a long history. And this is just disgusting. People like this, they really do deserve time. Spend a lot of time in prison. Yeah, unbelievable. It's just beyond the pale.
I mean, wow, it's just crazy.
He has 4 kids. He has 4 children.
What's up?
He has 4 children. His wife locked herself in a pantry, and tell me again how the white supremacists are so awful. Yeah, they are, but not compared to these people. These are scum. Yeah, it's
all bad, but I think there's more of those with that mind frame than there are white supremacists.
Yeah,
right?
I think so too, and I think that this polarization that's happening, and a lot of it has happened because of the advent of social media. I think that's been one of the unintended consequences of things like Facebook and Twitter. The anonymization.
Well, it's also partly bringing together people who share something in common philosophically, and finding your group, right? Where, like, I always think we've all known that there's been like a neo-Nazi movement here in Alberta and Montana, but they just shut the fuck up. We didn't know anything about it because they never did anything, and just fucking have your beliefs and just leave us the fuck alone, kind of thing, right? But now you've got this convergence of underground people who are, I guess that's like when I think about why it's important to have freedom of speech, is because those ideas were driven underground, essentially.
Yes.
Which we all appreciate. So now we deserve the chance to drive them underground again, Where
they festered, grow.
Online.
And, sunlight is
Let us mock them and that's what we did to get rid of them the first time,
Well, exactly, and he didn't get rid of it. It was out of sight.
Well, no, but at least they shut the fuck up.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. The problem is, it just grows and grows and grows, and it grows in a way that is unchallenged. Instead of bringing it, allowing these people to speak and bringing bad ideas out into the sunlight where they can be demolished. And because I'll tell you, that whole pushing it underground ain't working so well.
Not now, but
it ain't working at all.
Because it was, nobody would admit that there was a neo-Nazi. I've never. Well, I had a friend of a friend tell me. A friend tell me a friend of a friend basically was one, and I was just like, wow, that's scared. I was really upset about that. I actually started to cry when she told me that, because, I knew these people. I'm just like, you're kidding me,
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just, the another example of the left jumping off the deep end. And
well, when you call everybody a Nazi, then
yeah, exactly.
You can't really call out the ones that are legit, or not legit.
Yeah,
but,
it takes the power,
Nazis, right?
Yeah, it takes the power out of the word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not to mention how, neo-Nazis, I think, is fine, but when you call them Nazis,
there haven't been Nazis since 1946.
There was a thing called the Holocaust, and how do people that actually lived through that and have, family that survived that feel about us calling somebody that isn't really a Nazi?
Well, people compare
use of language.
People compare Trump to Hitler, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's just no, they're not even close. There's similarities. There's analogous similarities.
Yeah.
But no, he's not ordering the gassing of anybody.
Yeah. People would argue maybe the children, the camps where they're separating children from their families and that kind of thing, but we do it here too. It's shitty, and I want to see those children obviously back with their families, but sometimes there are people, I don't want to call it the religion of peace or anything, but sometimes it might be wise to separate children that are coming into, from...
You can't do that, right? It's kind of the same thing they did with the First Nations peoples here, where they take the
we don't
children
do it
away
forever, but
you have to have cause. You have to have provable cause.
Well, yeah, of course.
You have to have evidence.
So, to separate children from their families isn't all that abnormal, but of course you should have cause. And if you're just doing it randomly, then you're a fucking asshole. They should have. If these people are illegal immigrants, you don't separate the children from the parents. You put them in detention and await a deportation hearing, but you don't. The easiest way to lose children is to take them away from them. Like in places like Haiti, etc., it is very difficult. In the disaster that happened in Haiti a couple of years ago, in the earthquake, people were parents were trying to get their children to safety, which is admirable, but the problem is that once you're separated, it can be very difficult to get back together again, ever. Yeah, no doubt.
And that's aid organizations try very hard to keep families together because they know that it becomes very, very difficult to reunite.
Yeah.
And because you don't know where kids go. You don't know where they've gone.
Yeah. Say that kid comes in, they've got the shit beaten out of them, right? And they're obviously traumatized, and maybe their mother is too, or something, right? Like, there's cases. Even if you're already, a kid. Okay, so I'm thinking about the time that I cracked my head while having a shower, and the ex-husband drove me to the hospital. And they had us separated so fast you wouldn't have believed it, right?
Well, no,
they questioned us both.
They had you isolated because that's not the same thing. I'm talking about actually.
No, but what if that had been my one and only chance to say, "Hey, I'm being beaten here. Please help me," right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that happens here because a lot of people, don't speak the language and all that kind of stuff, right? So sometimes people do need to be separated, and
but you have to have just cause. You have to have
I don't
cause.
mean that in a cruel way, but of course you do. Yeah.
And that's not what's happening in America.
Yeah.
Tucker.
See, we disagree. Yay!
Yeah,
a tiny bit.
Tucker is one of the few voices that has some semblance of reason on Fox News. I can respect his view even if I disagree with him. These cretins that terrorized his family, I got nothing in common with you.
Absolutely not.
Not a thing. And I don't want to.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of that kind of behavior. Like, what does our political discourse come to? That's not discourse. That's
it's straight up terrorism.
Frankly, it was a death threat, straight up. You know, it's a terrorist act. You know. Oh
yeah, there was another thing, another incident that in Britain. You got the link to the video of the UK party goers. They were burning the Grenfell Tower effigy, and
somewhere along.
You remember that? Yeah. So I find this horrible and reprehensible. But why are you arresting them? This is the thing. I don't believe that people should be arrested for this kind of thing. British police have arrested 6 men after a video was posted on the internet that showed men mocking the deadly Grenfell Tower blaze by burning an effigy of the building as part of Guy Fawkes night celebrations. And remember the Grenfell Tower a few months back that burnt down, and dozens lost their lives in the flames.
Okay. I got it now. Yeah.
The video, which appeared on social media, showed a cardboard model of the tower with cutouts of residents in the windows being set alight on a bonfire, while those watching laughed and made jokes. 72 people died. It wasn't a couple months ago. It was a year ago. Oh, time flies.
Yeah.
It's the Britain's deadliest domestic fire since the Second World War. To disrespect those who lost their lives at Grenfell Tower as well as their families and loved ones is utterly unacceptable. I agree. But there's a difference between finding it unacceptable. Yeah. If you got to arrest half the country, sorry guys across. No disrespect to our friends, our cousins across the pond. Those letters, the email address is CHRISTINE at.
Oh yeah.
Really, it is.
Not that far across the pond either. Is that again? Oh no. Sorry.
People said 5 men had been arrested on suspicion of a public order offense after turning themselves in at a police station. Yeah, and the 6th went on the next day. Yeah, they've not been charged though, so I'm not.
Okay.
What? They were arrested but not charged. So it's terribly crass, terribly offensive, but don't be arresting people. Britain has some really funny laws that center around this fictitious right to not be offended. There's no such thing.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
You can be offended at anything.
Wouldn't it be fun to have John Cleese and
Stephen Fry?
Just escaped me. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, like they're pretty outspoken about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and well they should be. It is being offended is or offensive language is a great rhetorical technique. It can underscore how you feel about something. People take offense at the drop of a hat. Well,
and you know what? That's part of the point of art, right? Art isn't always pretty. It's meant to challenge your thinking. It's meant to confront you with ideas that you hadn't been confronted with before. And comedy is a form of art, a very important form. Satire is a hugely important form of art, politically.
Yeah,
did you see all of you're supposed to, as a comedian, call out the shit,
Did you see in Sweden they had this art that was of menstruating women public displays.
Oh God, not again.
Oh yeah,
I'm so
again.
tired of hearing about it. And menstruation is so shameful. We need to normalize it. No, it's not shameful.
Yeah,
It's never been
it's just
shameful to
gross.
me. Holy shit. And second of all, like, I really wouldn't appreciate like a fucking snot art installation. Like,
yeah, I'm going to create I should do that. I'm going to use Kleenex. I'm going to blow my nose every day, and I'm going to make a collage. And then I'm going to say, here, normalize boogers. Freedom for boogers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's already normalized, but we just go to the bathroom. And
the other day I saw that woman who covered herself in menstrual blood.
What's that?
The other day I saw a picture of a woman who covered herself in her own menstrual blood.
Okay. Well, tomorrow I'm going to cover myself in my own earwax. How does that sound? You know, like, things that come out of your body just should, you know. We don't need to talk about that. Yeah, but it shouldn't be. We all know about it, but, you know.
That's more of that internalized misogyny. Come on.
I'd like to see guys. Save their stuff from their wet dreams when they're like adolescents and do some artwork there. You know, like, oh, come on. Like, there's no shame in having a wet dream, even though, you know, little boys feel that it's shame. You know what I mean? Like, going through adolescence. I don't know that much.
It's not very colorful, though. It's not very colorful.
What's that?
It's not very colorful.
No, but it's like, I would suspect that having a wet dream would be more embarrassing for a boy than it would be for a girl to have a period. Maybe
no.
not. I don't know. But, you know.
No. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. It's just normal human functions. Like,
yeah.
I've never been shamed for having a period ever. And I've always been able to discuss it quite freely. Here we are discussing it right now.
We need an open toilet concept where just glass walls, anybody can see what you're doing on the toilet.
Yeah, no.
That'd be just...
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There are just some things done best in private.
Yeah. No shame, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go arresting people for even just for the crime of being an asshole. Just let them be assholes. People see that and let them know that, you know, like, that's pretty sick, dude. But
Beej is still participating with us here too.
The law shouldn't be involved in that.
What's that?
The law shouldn't be involved in that. That's micromanagement on a truly oppressive scale.
Yeah, she says arresting people for being despicable is wrong, and I agree.
And we'd have to, pretty much all of the Conservative Party, especially in Ontario. Which brings up the Tony Clement. Oh, you don't know about Tony Clement?
Did you send me the link?
No, I don't know. It just came to mind because talking about conservatives and their predilection for being assholes. Tony Clement.
Okay, no.
Was
I know the name.
It's been all over the news. It's been all over the news. Tony Clement sent somebody who he didn't know but thought was interested in him in a sexual way, I guess. He's an MP. He's twice run for the leadership of the Conservative Party in Canada, and the person gave those videos to someone who extorted him. And,
wow. Okay.
And it was funny because it happened multiple times.
I didn't know about that. I don't know how I missed that one.
Sheer is just, it was a security risk because the guy had been sitting on occasion on national security committees, and so it was a big security risk there. And the RCMP is now investigating, but we'll see how that goes. Whether there's any wrongdoing or not, they'll figure it out. What else we got? That's Antifa. How about the statue of Baphomet being
You know what? I haven't even had a chance to read this over. So let me...
there's not much to it, because
you talk about
not much. They're not... You remember that statue the Satanic Church put up in the States? Yep. Quite a nice one of Baphomet, and the children. And if you take a look at it, they copied it, like right down to the little... what's that? The twining snake thing. I can't remember what it's called. Has a word for it. Anyway, so they're suing...
But no children.
For $50 million. Well, maybe not in this, but the rest of it is exactly the same. So they filed a lawsuit with against Netflix for the use of this in the series The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it would be okay, except that in this TV show the Satanists are evil. And, and that's the problem. Their portrayal is not accurate. I mean, let's face it. These are atheists who are tweaking the collective noses of Christians because of these 10 Commandment things that get, we're equal opportunity. All religions could put something up, and then all of a sudden the Satanists say, "Hey, we got something." And I love that. They're awesome. I love this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I'm getting some noise back from somewhere, and
Kevin.
It's extremely noisy.
Oh, there.
Is that better?
Loud.
Yeah, it's better.
But you're. I think you're loud. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, a bit loud. Overdriving your... Can
you turn it down a tiny bit?
Yeah, somewhere. Maybe you're just hearing me as well as you.
Or move whatever device away from yourself a little bit or something.
Yeah, does that sound better?
Yeah. Do you have video?
I do.
Can we do that?
Yeah, where'd the video go? Oh, my thing.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I had everything audio plugged into the wrong channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't see a video icon on here anywhere.
Oh, really? On what, Skype?
There we go. There we go. Okay. Is that better?
Almost. It's just loading now. There you go. There you are. Hello.
Do I look ugly today?
No. But you need to move over just a little bit to your... that way?
To my that way.
Yeah. That's better. You're more centered now. Yeah.
Well, I see. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I'll just lean over. Maybe more. There we go.
Now, Randy, you're like pixelated.
Oh, I don't even see him.
Oh, we got echo coming. Oh, sorry, that's from me. I'll have to kill that. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I'm going to connect to a Bluetooth device. That's way better.
All right.
Sound-wise.
Yeah, you sound good now. Yeah. Tiny bit loud, but pretty good. Yeah, I think we're all in the same. Yeah. So where were we?
We're talking about the Satanic Temple and their lawsuit at Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they maintain that Satan is more of a literary figure who should be admired for his rebellion against tyranny and encouragement of freedom. Far different from the Satan depicted in the Sabrina series, who tries to trick and enslave the young half-witch. Sounds like an awesome show.
Okay, but so my thinking is, like, where did they get the Baphomet design from in the first place, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I would think that would be something that would be pretty easy to find in some sort of, text or whatever, right? So I don't...
Catholic text,
I guess it's, like, I get what you're saying. Like, I would be, if it weren't making Satanists look bad, then I couldn't really understand why they would do that, because it would be even promoting, that.
Yeah, if they'd painted them in a light that was, better.
Well, more realistic about what Satanism really means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or what that particular group in the U.S. is doing. But lost my train of thought. I don't know that they can claim that design as their own in the first place, right?
Yeah, so you would say that there might not be a copyright infringement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's expected that this is going to get settled out of court, but they'll get a couple million out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah. And where is Kevin gone?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a black screen now. I guess he'll join us. I was going to welcome, but you disappeared.
All right, so we're going to go to Ion Islam now.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, yeah, Ion Islam. Asia Bibi, she is a Pakistani Christian who was accused of blasphemy and convicted of blasphemy. She spent 8 years in prison for this fiction of a crime. And her sentence was overturned, and that started up a big bunch of riots from the Religion of Peace. And so the Asia Bibi was released, but it's kind of in hiding. And the UK, I can't believe this. Hey, here we go to the webpage. UK won't offer asylum to Asia Bibi amid security concerns. Whose security?
Guess they posted the same thing. Faisal. Yeah, they didn't let him in for the same reasons.
Yeah, it's like, whose security? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. They said because her arrival in the country may stir civil unrest.
Really?
Like, what the hell?
Wow. Yeah.
So
here's a woman who's been persecuted. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Oh, man.
And if that's the case,
world,
that tells us more about those who would become uncivil.
Yep. Exactly.
Unbelievable. Yeah. If people becomes uncivil, it's on them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It just boggles the mind. It's just more pointing more to this whole religion of peace thing being. There are absolutely Imam Sawardi is a Sufi, but then again, most Muslims would not consider Imam Sawardi a Muslim. Sunnis and Shia don't. No way.
I agree with everything, but
Sufism is an outlier. It's like the dervishes.
Ahmadiyya? Okay. Ahmadiyya too are pretty much shunned, if I'm saying that.
Yeah, they're totally shunned. Not only that, they're kind of haunted.
Yeah.
It's the mainstream versions, brands of Islam like Shia and Sunni are not nice. They're not Wahhabis, but they're not that far either. Anyway, so the Supreme Court of Pakistan overturned Bibi's 2010 conviction for insulting the Prophet Muhammad, even though they reached out to Muhammad for comment, but he wasn't available.
Sorry, he must have been busy.
Totally, busy dealing with other blasphemers. I know Ottawa has been in contact with Pakistan trying to arrange something as well. At least they're trying to get her, as opposed to the UK saying, we don't want to touch this.
Yeah.
Way to go, UK. You're just such a... not.
Asia's security, they can't protect her. 4% Pakistani population, but it's dangerous. There are openly ISIS supporters going to Speaker's Corner on Hyde Park in England. Yeah, I've heard that too, and
And yet those people are not arrested for hate speech.
Yeah. What the hell? What the hell? Yeah.
It's you can't be seen to. I mean, grooming gangs. Those exist.
I know. Can you believe? They try to, like, I guess. Oh man, that's been covered up for a long time. And
it was in Germany. It was totally covered up, and they finally admitted it. In that was in what city was it? It was Cologne. There we go.
Yeah.
That was where some of the major events happened, and just this week I saw that in the UK, one of the leader of one of those grooming gangs was knifed in prison, and I'm like,
wow,
too bad.
Well, yeah, shit.
He should have been in solitary.
That too, and he shouldn't have been granted asylum. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I guess you just can't field everybody, but
I know that's what I'm going to say is rather unpopular, but I agree with Justin Trudeau that once somebody has been granted citizenship, that's it. You're a citizen. Okay, unless you did it under false pretenses, then then you can revoke it. But if you're granted citizenship and the citizenship application was made in good faith, you're a citizen. You can't have it taken away after that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But if you run off and join ISIS and then come back, I don't see why we should.
You're going to prison.
Welcome you with open arms.
No, absolutely not. Like the story we did last time with the wives of ISIS fighters, and I'm just like, you want to come home? Well, guess what? You're going to be charged and put on trial, or you should be.
Yeah.
If you're not, shame on the government for not doing it, because you had a choice. They had, or not you, but they had a choice, and they chose poorly.
Unless they were like 13, 14-year-olds who had been, kind of
that's not what they were, though. They're adults.
Groomed to, join. I bet some of them were.
No. These are women who went with their husbands to Syria. They weren't supplied there.
They weren't what?
They weren't supplied there. They were married here.
Well, still, I can see where, you could still be persuaded into doing stupid shit.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's a mitigating factor.
Those brides were,
Talk about that at the sentencing. But
if you're like 16 years old and you marry one of these people, and all of a sudden you're like 23, 24, 25, and you're like, holy crap, here I am with a kid, and what the fuck have I done with my life, right?
And you still have, you still made a choice.
Go on trial. Yeah.
I'm not really that.
Yeah.
I'm not really that.
I'd have to hear in court or whatever. I'd have.
It's a mitigating factor. It's a mitigating factor, but it doesn't negate any criminal act.
Yeah.
That's saved for the sentencing.
Yeah.
Sorry to be harsh, but no, I'm not.
Can't argue with me.
I'm just being Canadian. That's my Canadian half. Saying sorry all the time. So Ottawa has been in talks with Pakistan, trying to get her to come here. They've been, this is one area of the Trudeau government that I like. This is something that these people are, like Raif Badawi, their activism in getting him to Canada. So what if it pisses off the king of House of Saud? I really don't care.
With you. It's not like we've never said anything about human rights before as a
I know. It's like they just wanted to make an example.
Sorry.
And it's not. And it's not like they're going to stop selling us oil. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
But I really do.
About those students that were supposed to go back to Saudi, though, that were contributing quite a lot to our medical research and that kind of thing. Hey, and they didn't want to go back. What the hell does that say?
Yeah. No, they don't want to go back. Of course they don't.
Yeah.
They got a taste of Western values and decided they liked it.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as better values than other value sets. I don't buy into the cultural or moral relativism that seems to be popular nowadays in anti-colonialism movement. There are some. I'm not saying that our system is perfect. It's just that we at least try. we talk about these things. Over there, they don't talk.
And if people have,
you die if you talk.
If people have criticisms of our, like our Western values, you're welcome to the table. We're not gonna kill you for sharing your opinion. Maybe we won't agree with you, but
no, they'll just terrorize you like they did Tucker Carlson's family.
Oh my God! Well, Jesus, I hope that never happens here. I'm sure. Oh man, that's so disheartening.
Yep, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. 20 years ago, I would have thought the world would have been a better place by now, and it's just not.
Well, that's different. That's not what I wanted to do.
Yep.
No, it's not here. Here
so
it is.
The conservatives are.
Yeah, they're trying to ride on the coattails of this. I mean, I don't hear them talking about Raif Badawi.
Yeah.
This is Asia Bibi, and that's fine. I support her asylum in Canada, but where does the Conservative Party stand on Raif Badawi? He's an atheist, so screw him, right? That's the Conservative Party's values. Christian, they're all making a lot of noise. Of course, they're just really riding on the coattails of the Trudeau government, who is, actually they're already making, doing backroom deals with Pakistan to try and get Bibi out, but they're also trying to get Raif Badawi out. I've never heard the Conservatives say a single thing about that. So screw you, Andrew Scheer.
Well, I wonder if they just can't talk about it too, because she was deemed not
guilty. The Conservatives can,
right?
The Conservatives can talk about it.
No, but I mean, she was deemed not guilty. So in the context of what they're trying to do beyond underground, under the scenes kind of thing, maybe we don't know about stuff that's going on.
Well, we don't know what the Trudeau government is doing, because they shouldn't be saying anything about that much. But the Conservatives are making a lot of noise about Asia Bibi, but they don't make any noise at all about Raif Badawi. So it's very selective.
Beach says Raif's wife gets more help from American politicians than from Canadian ones. I think she's right.
Yeah. Well, don't forget. I mean, again, I'm going to say something that's unpopular in Canada, but the Trudeau government did the right thing when they settled out of court for $10 million with Qatar for a number of reasons. One, the Harper government clearly violated the rights of Omar Khadr, and the courts pretty much signaled that they were going to find in favor of Omar Khadr, and would have probably, the original lawsuit would have been $30 million. So the Trudeau government saved us $20 million and did the right thing, whereas the Harper government left him hanging out to dry. And viscerally, I would say that I understand that, but we're supposed to be better than that.
10 million I thought was a bit much, but now that you put it in that kind of perspective,
it was.
10 million was just too much,
Yeah,
but
clearly
the decision was correct. I think the amount of money was excessive.
Yeah, and the Conservatives are saying, well, we should have fought it anyway. What? No, there was no chance of winning in court. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. There was no way the court case could have been won, and they just wanted to spend our money on principle. And principle I don't even agree with. I mean, human rights are human rights. You don't get to trample them just because somebody has brown skin.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And there was a lot of extenuating circumstances. There's even some concerns about the original trial. But anyway, just to finish off this Asia Bibi thing, more from the Religion of Peace. The lawyer flees Pakistan in fear of his life. No. It's really just an extended vacation for health reasons.
Yeah. Let's put him in a spa.
Yeah.
That happens so often too. Like you've got a plausible case, and the lawyer's getting threatened just like you are, and they won't do it. Of course, no one's going to do that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, because
put your family and yourself at risk.
Because pretty much everybody, 80-90% of the population agrees with killing these people. Blasphemers should die. Yeah. People that leave their religion should die. It's 80% in Pakistan. That's moderate Islam in Pakistan. They just want the state to do it, usually.
Yeah.
But it's okay. No, it's not. I'm sorry. We do have better values here in general.
Well, yeah. Can't disagree with you there. Yeah. No argument there.
I just despise cultural and moral relativism. I've come across these people who are so afraid to say something is bad. If it's bad in our culture, it's also bad in theirs, because they don't want to. It's kind of this anti-colonialism thing, where it's swinging the pendulum the other way, where you don't want to impose values on other people. No, there's some things that, when they come here, does it make female genital mutilation, is that okay in our culture? No.
That's just exactly the
Should it be in theirs? Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You want to mutilate your genitals? Wait till 18 years old to do it.
There are well-meaning
choice for you.
There are well-meaning people. There are well-meaning people that are European or North American who think, well, that's their culture. It's okay. Oh, fuck off. It is not.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get myself worked up.
Well, it's one thing, okay, they drink this particular drink that, I don't know, is made of cactus juices, and I find that revolting. I'm not going to go and take that aspect of their culture away.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say don't do that.
That's fine. Have your culture, but yeah, I don't know. I'm making silly, things up. But, yeah, of course, there's moral things, and then there's things that, we probably shouldn't interfere,
Sure, yeah. There are cultural things that are benign, fine, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Anytime it affects somebody else's well-being or rights, totally different matter.
Exactly.
And our own society is still struggling with that. But we're far, far more sensitive to those kinds of issues than a lot of other societies.
Yeah. Like I certainly when, people want to read their horoscope every day and actually believe it, that's fine. You're not doing me any harm. But there are other things that do need to be called out.
Yeah, when they start legislating values, like they do, particularly in the U.S. and
religious values specifically.
Specifically religious values, and that's imposing a set of religious values on everyone. That's even those that don't adhere to it. Sometimes it's a fine line to walk, and it's fraught with danger both ways. But I think the less we legislate morality, the better off we're going to be.
Well, I think that obviously we don't want to go around murder. You know what I mean? Like there's just something.
Well, no, now you're interfering with somebody else's rights.
Christian value system, but no, it's just part of being a human being. Don't rape, don't fucking murder, blah blah blah. Right?
There are fundamental principles. There are fundamental principles. One is the right of a person, rights of a person, and they end when you interfere with the rights of another person. That's a fundamental principle that is something that has been developed over a long period of time. What are the rights of the individual? And that's still changing. I mean, we've assisted suicide being one of them, and it's
gay marriage.
Gay marriage, sure.
Yeah.
The fight with how many genders is it now? Gender identities.
Yeah.
Depends on where you are. I think Canada's 19. There's 30-something in New York State. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
just saying,
I'm sorry, but you know what? Gender is tied strongly to biology. That I don't know what anything other
tied
is.
To biology, gender is the
so is gender.
Construct.
So is gender. No, it's not. No, it's not. The gender identity is.
Well, we'll argue about this one.
Yeah.
Because one's a sociological definition and one's a biological, explanation, right?
And that's why there's a war on biology now, because the two.
That's true. But I think you can hold both thoughts in your head at the same time if you're a nuanced fucking human being. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to buy into one or the other. You can accept the claims of both when they're reasonable.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of them is actually based in evidence. The other one is ideological. And
well, that's what I'm saying. It's a social thing, right? Like, we wouldn't slag somebody for identifying as a, I don't know, conservative or, do you know what I mean? Like, who cares? Who cares? I need to take a very quick break.
You have to be
play the jumping hot dog.
Yeah, I should get
my favorite.
That. Yeah.
We gotta have that on.
I should get that.
I'll send you a link. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
My favorite. So cute.
If anybody wants to phone, by the way, it's a good time to phone.
Yeah.
Let's put the phone. There we go. You can call us toll free at 1-587-288-1067, and I can take your calls, and you can trash talk us, whatever.
Yep. Sounds like fun. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat window right now.
No calls about the Rider game today. No. No calls about the Rider game today.
Okay.
No. We can talk about the BC Lions game. That was fun to watch. Jumping hot dog. Let's see. Let's put that up. I gotta get the messenger here. Come on. Oh, there we go.
It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking...
Oh, we got a phone call. Hey, look at that. Oh, let's kill that. Okay. Caller, who have I got on the line?
Hi.
Who have I got?
Yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Vincent.
Oh, hi, Vincent. Okay.
Okay.
What do you got for us tonight?
I was just at Jubilations. Kind of disappointed in the show. So.
Oh, what were they doing?
They were doing a parody on Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Disappointing though. That's too bad. Well, I haven't been to Jubilations in ages.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know, Jubilations is a what would you call it? It's a dinner theater, I guess is what you call it.
Yeah.
Usually musicals.
And it was cheap tickets tonight, so I decided to go tonight.
Well, at least you got a good meal.
Unfortunately. At least I got a good what?
At least you got a good meal.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was pretty much the only thing. the people that were around me talked a little bit. They were nice conversationalists. So, but of course they were geriatric compared to me, and their political views were fairly to the right. So, guess who they didn't like is their prime minister.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that nobody represents me anymore. But he's been a bit of a disappointment. I had high hopes for him, but he's reneged on a few promises that I thought were key, such as first past the post, getting rid of the first past the post system.
Oh yeah, he reneged on that.
Totally reneged on that. And the assisted dying law is terrible. I'd rather have no law than the one that we have.
It certainly is. Yeah.
They've screwed that up.
But
they didn't have to.
In politics, he did do something that was fairly positive.
He's done a few things that are positive.
Heard today, unless you guys talked about it already.
I don't know. You haven't told me what it is yet. Trump
was in France today, as well as Trudeau was in France.
But not in the rain.
100-year. Pardon me?
But he was rained out. Yeah. Oh, and he skipped the dinner with all the other leaders because of a gaffe. Yeah.
So, but then Trudeau was the more gentleman and was out there in the rain and outclassed Trump.
Oh, it's not hard to do.
Yeah,
that's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. I've been away for a moment. Who have we got on the phone, and what are we talking about?
We've got Vincent on the line. We're talking about Justin Trudeau.
Who's on the line? I'm sorry.
Vincent.
Hi, Vincent. Okay.
Hello. I was finally able to. I was able to finally get online.
Cool.
Or call or whatever. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have too much to talk about, but have you guys heard of the new Sabrina thing on Netflix?
Yeah, we talked about that. The lawsuit. Yeah.
The Baphomet. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I won't be watching it. Because
neither will I.
Sounds like
Sabrina.
Yeah.
And I can't watch dark one.
You're not. It doesn't give you like the heebie-jeebies, does it?
No, it doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies. I just like the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay, I never saw that one.
Just like the original. Yeah, no, the original one was like for kids, and it was not dark compared to what the new one is. So I refuse to watch it, and I'm pretty sure that it will be taken off the air pretty soon. So
yeah, there's
a lot of the stuff that
there's been a few things that Netflix has flopped on. I think of Iron Fist and a guy named Cage. I can't remember what the first name is. I never really got into that. I'm so marveled out. It's really tough to stay interested in that kind. That genre is so saturated, and some of them have been so bad. I'm thinking of like Iron Man 3 stank, I thought. First two Iron Man movies were awesome. The third one was just they basically drove the horses over a cliff. I mean, it was terrible.
But the thing of it is you actually paid money in order to watch them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and Netflix, it's just generic, $10 a month, right, or whatever it is now.
Oh.
And Yeah, TV. I actually like the binge watching. I've gone through, going back over several seasons of some TV shows like Elementary. I've kind of started getting into that. It's a little late to the game because it's on season 7 now. And I get into some of the stuff some of the cartoons on Netflix are really good. So I binge watch those, like BoJack Horseman. My brother and I both like that one a lot, and it's strange, but it's interesting. It's just I can't explain what's good about it because it's kind of can't even explain what the show is about. I really quite enjoy that one. And Lucifer is going to be on Netflix. I don't know when the next season's going to come up. So
Lucifer.
Yeah, it's migrated. It migrated from TV to Netflix because they canceled it on network. But Netflix said they're going to. Yeah. I'm waiting for unfortunately it's not until the end of December 30th. Save the date because that is when the next season of The Orville is on. And
oh yeah, I'm gonna buy the season.
Yeah, I'd like to too because they haven't been playing reruns, and this is Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek style sci-fi, and it's really good. And there have been a few episodes which are very atheistic, and like the one where they visit this planet at several different time periods in its development, social development, and finally that planet is more advanced than them, and they've jettisoned religion entirely. That was a really good episode. I like the one where they're on the alien ship, and the god of this people they're at war with, the Krill, his name is Avis. And there's a lot of car rental jokes.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the funnier episodes. I really like it. It's a great show, and I highly recommend it.
Note that I have nothing to contribute here.
Yeah, you got to watch it. I'm serious. It's a really good show. It's a really good show, and I really enjoy it. One of the few things that's on TV now that I'm going to watch. Most are on. Oh, hi, girl. I got a cat for here. So bring her over here.
I buy the season from iTunes.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, just because I don't have any other means of watching any of that kind of stuff. So my favorite show to watch and is American Horror Story.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yes, it's very engaging. I have, I think, 8 seasons of it. I think there's 9, and it's engaging. And now we're on the apocalypse kind of thing. So it's hard to explain, but most of the actors in it have been there some of them have been there since the beginning of when they started. So, but I'd recommend something like this. So, the American Horror Story. So.
All right.
Yeah. There's not much to say about it. It's won a lot of awards. So
I've never seen it, so I can't really say.
I've never seen lots of stuff, so I have no comment on any of this conversation, really.
Yeah.
That's just me. I just don't watch a lot of TV or movies and stuff. I'm more into music, so.
Yeah. So have you guys heard of Carpe? John Carpe?
No.
Yes. Why? I don't remember why I know that name, but remind me.
John Carpe is a UCP member. And he was part of the Jason Kenney.
I think I know who you're talking about. That's the guy who is one of his backers, one of his financial backers, and what was he doing? I haven't watched the video, but there's a video of him being very un-PC, shall we say?
Oh yes.
And I should watch the video. I just saw it earlier today. But the thing is, the United Conservative Party, which is the Conservative Party of Alberta, really, has a bit of an image problem. You know, like being filled with. I mean, you can say that they're right wing, but it's worse than that. They are just homophobes and
it's one thing to be fiscally conservative and quite another to be socially not socially conservative, right? You know, yeah.
The problem is that people conflate this with these very detrimental qualities in many of the members of UCP as part of being conservative, and that's not true. Being conservative is...
It is not, exactly.
It's not at all
because I know conservatives, and they're just like, they're all for gay marriage, they're all for, any human rights you and I could come up with, but they're just fiscal, right?
They can be fiscal conservatives.
Arguments, and, no need to,
Socially conservative?
We know a couple in our community, and I love and respect them. They're my friends, and they would never, they would never challenge the social. We all agree on the same social principles. Let's put it that way, right? We're all in support of LGBTQ rights. We're all in support of, gay marriage. All those, women's right to reproductive rights. You don't necessarily, just because you're a conservative, does not mean that you don't buy into the social values that most of us do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't that kind of conservative.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
This is the raging homophobic, anti-abortion.
Don't allow
everything.
GSAs in schools and blah blah. Fuck off. Sorry.
That's okay. That's what he deserves.
And they're fairly racist too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I definitely would not support the UCP, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was one time I voted Conservative, and that was because in my riding was a member of the Wild Rose Party. And he was a complete and utter piece of shit. And the only way to get rid of him was to vote Conservative. Now that was, of course, predates Jason Kenney by quite a bit, and you would. There's no way I would vote UCP. But the problem is, the Notley government isn't terribly left, and certainly not as left as the federal NDP. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I got to say, I would never vote for the federal NDP. Not in a million years.
Not at this point, but when when Jack Layton was in, I certainly would have. Absolutely.
Yep. He was incredibly popular.
They were really, if they can come back and have that kind of imagery or whatever, and arguments and substance, let's put it that way, right? Then
Well,
Layton oh man, I miss Layton.
Ed Broadbent was another very big favorite amongst people, but it never translated into into very many seats.
But still, I think the thoughts got in our mind, and they had an influence on Canadian politics, right?
Yeah, but sometimes some of the people that I'm thinking back to the Ed Broadbent era, and people like Sven Robinson were around.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought he was left. the current one, wow.
People who, because lots of people won't know this, he was a BC premier, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was not. No. He was an MP.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, he was an MP, and in the Ed Broadbent era, which would be like the 80s and early 90s. Sven Robinson was pretty far left, certainly more left than Ed Broadbent would have liked him to be. And I think he was a kind of an albatross around the neck for the NDP, even though he kept getting elected in his own riding. Now, with Singh, this is a guy who goes to a Sikh separatist function and doesn't see anything wrong with the optics of that. I'm just like,
yeah.
Dude, that is just so not. I mean, let's face it, he's not Donald Trump, but he is so not prime ministerial material. Like, that was it. I wrote him off right then. It was a horrible thing to do. I mean, could you imagine him as prime minister visiting India? That would be like, it would set back relations quite a ways.
Well, I don't think the NDP should be so much regarded at this point as potentially a prime minister, producing a prime minister from their party, so much as producing dissent.
So play to lose? Are you saying play to lose? Are you saying they should play to lose?
Well, nobody should play to lose, but the more voices you have to bear in politics, and the more the more ideas come to bear on how to do things better, or worse. Yeah, put it out there to criticize. Like, I'm thinking again of Jack Layton, because he really never, but he was a very powerful voice in shaping Canadian politics.
Yeah, but I bet he would have. He would. Don't tell me he didn't play to be prime minister.
Oh, for sure.
So why would you? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get an understanding here.
I'm not saying that he's not playing to be prime minister. I'm saying that even if he doesn't make it, the NDP voice is still an important one on the our political stage.
Yeah, not so much.
I wouldn't vote for him for prime minister either, but I wouldn't want to exclude their voices either, because I think they're important.
Their voices,
and I think they have the capacity. Like, if you look at John Layton's legacy, they could very well go back to, with the right leadership, to make them appealing to Canadians more broadly.
Well, I think they'd have to have a policy shift towards the center. I can't see it.
Yeah. Well, Layton was, I wouldn't say he was radically left.
No, I'm not talking about Layton. Yeah. I'm talking about Singh.
No, I guess I'm talking about their legacy and how they could be better if they.
Anyway, we're getting far afield. Yeah. Let's finish this out. Thanks, Vincent, for giving us a call.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hope to see you soon.
Yep. You want me to hang up now?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right.
And we'll finish this off because we only have like a couple of things I've got. I got to find it now.
You're okay.
Great.
The naturopath stuff?
Yeah. Here we go. Controversial naturopath gives up license. Says work not going to change. She was even the College of Naturopathy. She was too wacko for them. So she's giving up her license. And I think that was a huge mistake granting naturopathy and homeopathy their own colleges. It raises them up to a level that they don't deserve, and certainly have no evidence in terms of their treatment.
Yeah.
And remember this naturopath we talked about a while back, who gave a homeopathic a mixture, homeopathic solution made from rabid dog saliva. I mean, yeah. I know there's not going to be a single molecule of the rabies virus in it, except by an incredible fluke. But if there had been, so say she didn't do the 30C thing, it was something like 5C or something. Like she could kill people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to end this. We have to say this is. We made a huge mistake in legitimizing naturopathy and homeopathy. When the UK, they're trying to slough that off, and we're the opposite. We're going that direction. At least we don't have homeopathic hospitals.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. So she's basically uncoupling herself because she wants to be part of what's the exact words here? Continue to act as an unregulated homeopath. Well, that's just great. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dog saliva. Yeah.
At the center of the discussion was the college's policy on immunization, which forbids naturopaths from including anti-immunization materials in their advertising and from counseling parents against vaccination without a properly documented medical rationale. I think that should be like in Ontario. That should be legislated. You should not be able to promote quackery like that can kill.
No shit. Yeah.
I think that should be across Canada.
Well, you know what? It should be no quackery at all, because I think even the most benevolent practitioner of whatever woo would not want to see their patients die. They don't want, maybe they're in it for the profit and that kind of thing, but people don't want to see their patients die. That's not good on their record. It's not, so we've got to, I think, just curb it, and if it's not scientifically based, or at least has some, scientific basis, then why should we, sure, go off and do your own thing and have your private organization, but I sure don't want to see that covered by insurance or, or tax dollars or anything like that.
Should be not promoted in any way. No financial loss. You want that, I'm you do it on your own.
If you must promote it outside of those constraints, then you're up for a charge of fraud, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said, about this whole immunization thing. She said this, quote, "I don't tell them that their child was vaccine injured." Ugh. They weren't vaccine injured. There's no such thing. They come to me. They're calling me from all over the world saying, "This is what happened to my child. Can you please help me?" And what am I supposed to do? Not help them? You're not supposed...
How would a conversation go if I were to say to a patient, I don't want to imply that, vaccinations caused blah, blah, blah kind of thing, but, and then tell me about your, like, holy shit, you're just framing the whole bloody thing. You're setting the narrative. Maybe you don't, you purport to be objective, but just the very fact of asking that question is setting the stage for a bunch of bullshit to be brought to bear on the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? With parental consent, because then they're like, oh, I wouldn't do, I wouldn't suggest that, vaccinations, but what's your story? And then parents get engaged, and here we see this downward spiral, of bad beliefs being perpetuated.
Yeah. They talk a little bit about that, the boy she treated with what's known as licinum, which is actually approved for use. This is the rabid dog saliva preparation. It's actually approved for use in Canada, but only certain brands are that. So she was brought before the college because the brand that she used does not have a license from Health Canada. Why is Health Canada licensing this shit?
Yeah. Well,
I know it's legislation,
there's an antibody for rabies, is there not?
Well, you'd have to be. I mean, that's how the body fights doesn't do a very good job.
So what would I have no fucking, I'm not Twyla, I don't have any, knowledge of chemistry or biology in any meaningful sense, but would that, just like when they used kind of polio, the inert version of a lot of vaccines are based on the sickness, but an inert version of them. So,
well, yeah, and that's true.
Which is different than,
You're teaching your body to recognize a virus, a piece of a virus perhaps, or a deactivated virus. And that is stored in certain kinds of cells, and I can't remember offhand what the name of the cells are. But that memory lasts for quite a while. It can last for quite a while. But rabies is pretty... I don't know how the immune system is not able to fight it very well. I'd have to look into that specifics of that. Anyway, so the whole thing was...
There's an antidote, just like there is to certain snake bites and that kind of thing, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
I don't know what that consists of. I'm ignorant of chemistry,
I'm not sure. I think the treatment involves you have to do it quickly, and it's basically doing just that, getting the antibodies, getting the body to produce antibodies to the rabies virus, and you have to do it before the virus takes time. It incubates, so you have to get the body the body to recognize the virus very quickly. Because once the virus has finished its incubation period, that's pretty much it for you. So it's a race, and so you have a series of injections.
Yeah.
So there was the whole thing about she was treating a kid with aggression and behavioral problems. A 4-year-old boy with sleep and behavioral problems, including aggression and violence towards schoolmates. Sounds like bad parenting, to be honest. Hiding under tables and growling and
It doesn't sound like something that dog saliva from
exactly.
At the very least.
But she said the boy was, besides being violent towards classmates, he had trouble sleeping and experienced nightmares about werewolves and wolves. There you go. There's the connection.
It must have been rabid.
The kid was a werewolf. Whatever. There was I don't know if we're going to really talk about this. There's a nice article here in CBC News on why can naturopaths mislead the public about their credentials, because no one bothers to stop them. I don't recognize their credentials for any naturopath. It's because...
Me neither,
They always say there was something in here. Where is it? It was a really good thing about medical students amassed by conservative estimates about 4,000 hours of supervised clinical study, most of which are in the hospital, not a naturopathic office. More importantly, all doctors undergo years of residency training after they get their MD. That's very true. In the time between graduating medical school and becoming a family doctor, I accrued at least 6,000 additional hours of supervised clinical study. Many of my colleagues trained for far longer. If the comparison is to a newly minted MD, then it's highly deceptive to omit the fact that an MD alone does not a doctor make, right? So this is the whole thing where that's this false equivalency between getting a medical degree and bullshit homeopathy. They're not at all in the same league. I mean, a family doctor goes beyond the MD into the specializations. So they get naturopathic education does involve basic science and clinical skills, but it's unquestionably false advertising to claim that this represents medical training. It's totally different. It's like you learn some. And I question that they learn all that much science. If you learned science, why are you a naturopath? Why would you be a naturopath?
Yeah, well, that's why some people come out of it and, are critical of it too, right?
So when you go into an MD, you already have that before you even start to be, your med school training. So They don't do that during. They do it prior to. But when you apply for medical school, you already have to have at least first year biology, organic chemistry, a first year version of it, chemistry and physics. You have to have all these things already.
Yeah, makes sense.
And in naturopaths, they learn that, as part of their training. So the rest is actually medical training. This is a really good article written by a physician, written by Michelle Cohen, and it's worth a good read. I wish Twyla was here for this one.
Me too.
This one is.
We're going to get Timothy Caulfield on.
Yeah, we got to email him again. Say okay, it's now past fall. It's winter. Ugh.
Yeah.
The last story we got here is on it's kind of fallout from that Monsanto trial in the States. That was ridiculous, and there's this claim that Monsanto, because Monsanto might have, they use the term helped scientists write the paper. It's quite. I have a feeling that it was the scientists asking Monsanto some factual information. That's not the same thing. The data is the data. They still did the work, and there are no studies that aren't in those pay-for-published journals, bottom feeder predatory journals. Those are where you find all of these anti-glyphosate papers.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah, and trust me, if somebody did a properly designed study and showed that glyphosate was either a mutagen or a teratogen, or was in any other way toxic at levels which are used on either around the house or on crops, then that would be published in the top journals.
Huh.
I guarantee.
Do you think our government is actually
you.
looking at the bottom feeder journals to get this information? Because it's Health Canada.
No, they're actually looking at some of the the emails that some of the authors of papers, the email communication between them and Monsanto.
Okay.
That's not saying that to say that Monsanto was then helping them write papers is kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
And sure, it would, if you need information on glyphosate, something that Monsanto can provide, it's perfectly fine to do that, and you would reference, that communication in your paper.
Yeah.
So Health Canada, because of the optics, Health Canada is going to look into it. I guarantee you that they're going to look into it, and that's going to be the end of it, because they're not going to find anything. There are literally hundreds of papers looking at the possibility of glyphosate being toxic, and anything is toxic. I mean, dose makes the poison, right? I mean, water can be toxic in sufficient quantities.
Yeah.
Hyperhydration, it kills people. And so, but at the levels that are used, nowhere near anything that's toxic, and there's no evidence at all that this causes cancer. In fact, the mechanism of action is only in plants. That pathway that gets blocked is only in plants. We don't have it, and it's very specific. It's a very specific.
I don't know.
Herbicide.
I don't know. I'm not literate on that kind of thing. But if it's not correct, I think it wouldn't be the first time. It hasn't been correct in science, and harm has come out of it, and
But if somebody,
but if there's studies like you're saying, then I think it's always worthwhile being skeptical and open to the possibility that they might very well be bad actors. Like just being skeptical of pharmacy or government, like any institution, is a good thing.
We would need to know this.
Losing your, being stupid about it, right?
But this is just allegations, and it's framing things in a conspiratorial way when there's no conspiracy here. There's just none. It's people doing their due diligence, and that's it.
Yeah, totally agree.
Glyphosate actually has an LD50 that is higher than table salt, which means table salt is more toxic.
Okay. Huh.
So yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all I got.
Me too. Yeah.
That's all I got. So I guess we'll say our goodbyes.
Have you enjoyed legalized weed yet?
No, I have not. No, I have not partaken. I've certainly seen a lot of stores pop up.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Like all over the place.
Yeah. Well, some don't have approval yet, but they're in the works.
Yeah, it's the licensing issue.
Because the first
can't get edibles.
We only had 2 here. Excuse me, pardon me?
Yeah, we can't get edibles yet.
I know, I'm so disappointed, but there's recipes.
Yeah, the one
but
time,
they ran out.
The one time I tried it, it was not a good experience.
Well, then don't do it again.
Yeah. It just put me to sleep. And I was... Okay, I'd already had quite a bit of scotch before. And I tell you, you can't... That was... The world started spinning, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't know. I can't close my eyes.
I would say that was probably more a consequence of the alcohol than the weed. I would,
maybe.
If you had gotten paranoid, then I would say never do weed again if that's how you react to it. But I don't know. You might want to try it again. Just don't do so much scotch or whatever.
Yeah, that is the we haven't done it since.
Yeah.
So that's the intention is to try it without the alcohol. Don't do that again. That was bad.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I lived.
She was probably fine, but
No, she was falling asleep too.
Paranoid. What's up?
No, she was falling asleep too. We both just conked out.
Well, what a waste.
Totally. It didn't help.
Probably more the alcohol than the weed.
It didn't help that the first joint didn't seem to do anything, so we had a second. So.
Uh-oh.
That probably didn't help things. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, you know what? You can always take more if you're not enjoying yourself or whatever, but you can't take less.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like start off with half of what you think is reasonable. Wait 20 minutes or whatever, and add accordingly. But man, once you take too much, you can't undo that. And I've never really had a bad experience with marijuana, but I've certainly heard some bad ones.
With alcohol, yeah.
But you're not going to die. You're just going to get paranoid, and all you need to do is go to sleep, watch a movie or something like that, right? Because, like I said, you're not going to die. You're just paranoid,
Well, anyway, I think we should call it a night. It's after 10 o'clock, and so I just want to remind people that we are live on YouTube and Facebook Live on Sunday, every other Sunday. So, like, if this is the 11th, I guess it would probably the 25th would be the next. Yeah, 25th. Will be the next episode, and we're live at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now that we're back on the dark
city time zone.
Yeah, get up in the dark and go home in the dark. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Canadian way. And so if you want to subscribe on YouTube or Facebook, go to our page, The Lead and a Reason, and you can find us using that same phrase on YouTube. Great. So I guess good night, and thanks, Christine, for...
Good night, everybody. Thank you, too.
Yep.
Fun as always.
Yeah.
Sorry Kevin didn't make it, but next time maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey.